Hey guys, it's Kompeki here, and this video will teach you how to play Reyna from the beginner level all the way to pro play. If you're interested in watching these free mini lessons live, come join my Discord server. Also, if you don't know who I am, I'm Kompeki, and I run Valorant's #1 live coaching program that helps players rank up 5 divisions in 6 weeks. Don't believe me? Daiki, who just started our program a week ago, went from being hard stuck in Gold 3 to Plat 3 in just a week. Another student, Angelic, went from being hard stuck in Diamond 2 on his main to hitting Immortal on his alt account in just 9 days of his season start. Last week, we've opened up 50 spots for season 15 of our Immortal roadmap program, and there are only 31 spots remaining, probably less by the time this video goes out. So if you're interested, make sure to sign up with the link below to book a free call with me and my team to see if you'd be a good fit. Without further ado, let's get started. So welcome to the Reyna class, and we've been doing a whole series on duelists. We already went over Jet, we went over Yoru last time as well last week. So this week is all on Reyna, okay? And I think I'm quite suited to teach her because I actually played a lot of Reyna climbing to Radiant, and she's definitely one of the most picked agents for solo queue and in ranked in general. But let's get started with this. All right, so this is a quick overview of the lesson for today. So I'm gonna first talk about mindset, just what makes a great Reyna player. It's all about taking calculated risk. And when it comes to mechanics, let's just brush up on the basic mechanics of Reyna and her kit, and then I'll go through some more advanced techniques that you can do with her kit. I mean, Reyna's a pretty straightforward character to play, but there are still some nuanced things that you can do with her just to squeeze out a little more value. And then I'll talk about how to play her on both the attacking side and the defending side. And then when it comes to pro play, we generally know that she actually isn't picked that much in team play or pro play, but she did get picked just a handful of times. And so I want to talk about some key takeaways that we can get from how those pro players made her work out. So when it comes to mindset, this is her quote, right? They want to die, let them. Reyna is one of the easiest agents to actually pick up because she doesn't have that much utility. All she has is a flash, right? So she's pretty easy to pick up and master. She doesn't really have like a very high skill ceiling, but I think where the skill ceiling comes into play is actually understanding all the different agents in the game and the interactions that she has with all the utility. She also has a very self-sufficient kit, as you guys know, with her heal and also her dismiss. She can take a lot of selfish fights and get away with it. And her flash is actually in my opinion, one of the most unique flashes in any game I've played, even in this game, because you can use her as a pop flash, you can use it very high up, you can also doesn't have any limitations to her range of her flash as well. And the fact that it just stays up in the air for 2 seconds is quite unique. And so there are a lot of cool ways to use her flash, and she has massive snowball potential with her ult, with her dismiss, just her ability to get a lot of kills. But yeah, the downsides to her is that she can be very heavily reliant on your aim, because if you don't get any kills, then her kit's pretty much useless, right? You can't use anything else other than just her flash. So definitely need to be getting kills on her. So in the next following slides, I'm going to talk about how you can set yourself up for those kills. You should say worst ult in the game, but yeah, she probably does have the worst ult in the game because yeah, even though her ult does let you shoot faster, reload faster, you know, dismiss and turn invisible, in higher elo, it just doesn't provide that much utility for the rest of the team. So I would argue she has the worst ult in the game. And yeah, just a lack of utility for her team as well. Just her flash alone isn't much, right, compared to a lot of other agents. So that's why in team play, you don't really see her picked that often, but you can still make use of her if you understand some of these basic mechanics. So these are just the easy stuff, like just numbers that you should keep in mind of when playing her. So her Leer, unlimited range, anyone can stare at it and they will get flashed. And it's a near sight, so it's not a complete flash, it's a near sight. So if you throw the flash too close to the enemy, then they can still see you, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Her Devour as well breaks after losing line of sight of the soul orb for half a second, okay? So you can use this mechanic to kind of jiggle in and out of cover while you're still getting healed. And her heal heals for 100 HP max, and if you're below 100 health, and after healing 100, it does overheal you until 150, and it takes 3 seconds to heal completely, and her overheal lasts 30 seconds. So after that, it'll just decay back to 0. And her dismiss, you can cancel it when you want, but the shortest amount that it'll last for is 0.6 seconds all the way to 2 seconds. And her ult lasts 30 seconds. So this is kind of useful to know if you are playing against a Reyna as well, because if you know the enemy Reyna ulted early on in the round, you can just wait out 30 seconds so you don't have to worry about it as well. Or let's say that you know know the ult lasts 30 seconds, which means the enemy Reyna, let's say they're ulted, running out of time, there's a good chance that she's going to be trying to look for some kind of fight before her ult runs out again. But it does reset every single time you get a kill on Reyna with her ult. Okay, so let's talk about advanced mechanics. You can jiggle peek in between your heals and dismisses to get a little more info instead of just like running right away or healing right away and just standing there and getting shot, because if you do get shots in between your heals, your heal does get interrupted. You can also heal plus dismiss. This is when, let's say you get a multi-kill and there's 2 soul orbs on the ground, so you can heal first and then dismiss, so that way you can heal safely if there's another opponent that's trying to trade the second guy that you just killed. And you can also delay the orb grab, so you don't always have to grab the soul orb right away. You can let it sit on the ground for a little bit and then just hold the angle again just to see if anyone else peeks again to trade the person you just killed, and then grab the orb if you let's say like miss your first or second shot, and then get out safely. A lot of beginner Reyna just tend to heal too fast or dismiss too fast, but it's not a bad idea to also delay the orb. And then there's also flashing close onto the ground versus throwing the flash really high. If you flash close onto the ground, then your flash will pop faster, and then this is really useful when you're taking like close range fights. And also high flashes, you can throw the flash really high in the air so that enemies have to flick upwards while you're peeking them, so either they shoot the flash or they try to kill you through the blind. And there's also util combos. So to play Reyna at a high level, you need to understand what kind of like util combos are really strong with her. So for instance, pairing up a Reyna flash with a sky flash or a sky dog or Silva drone, things like that can make it really hard for enemies to deal with that utility. Because if you throw a blind up in the air really high, or just even in the air, the opponents are going to look at the flash to try to break it. It doesn't take a lot to break it, but if you pair that up with another flash, then they're going to be looking at your blind anyways to break it. So if you throw a pop flash in the direction of where Reyna threw her flash, then it's like a complete checkmate situation. So that's a really great way to execute a part of the site, or even just take control over certain spaces on the map. This is something you can do as well with her ult. So you can get a kill, get a soul orb, and then ult, and then dismiss, so that when you dismiss, the dismiss becomes invisible. And then you can also learn to b-hop while being dismissed when you're taking close range fights, to make it a lot harder for enemies to try to hit you after you get out of your dismiss, because people can still hear you while you're dismissed when with their ult, for instance. So they'll try to chase you down and shoot you while your gun's not out yet. So just to make it harder for them to hit you after getting out of the dismiss, you can just b-hop around. When you're attacking, people have trouble with Reyna because she doesn't really have a dash or movement ability to just instantly create space. So how do we actually make space? There are a few things that you can do with her. These two kind of go hand in hand, but what's unique about Reyna is that if you hit someone even in the body or in the leg once, do some kind of damage, and that person dies within like a 3 to 4 second window from another teammate, you still get a soul orb that gets dropped. So you can actually dismiss to clear like a 50-50 angle, for instance, with that soul orb to see if there's more enemies, get info with it like a human drone, and then just get out safely. And then with that info, your teammates can even just spam through the smoke or spam through cover while you are dismissed. And remember that your dismiss does only stay up for 2 seconds. Getting info with flashes. If an enemy doesn't want to get blind, they're going to want to shoot the flash, right? And what's interesting too about her flash is, if just like how Omen blind, if you blind someone, there's like this black cloud that forms above their head. Same thing with Reyna. It shows if someone's blinded over their head. So sometimes like if you flash really high and someone's hiding behind a box, you can still see that they got nearsighted, okay, by your flash. So you can sometimes get info over boxes too. And if they shoot your blind, then you know where they're shooting from. So you know exactly where to aim when you peek. And then when you are scaling up with your team and playing contact, so playing contact just means taking space on the map or an area of the map without using any utility, right? You're just kind of being silent, you're just walking up. If you're gonna do that, then you want to be in front as Reyna, because you're gonna take the first fight, and if you take the first fight, you can take some damage, but your teammates and yourself can fight that person together and you can heal from that, right? Or if you just get the kill, then you can just dismiss, and if the second guy is coming up to trade, that essentially becomes a bait and switch, where after you kill the first guy, you dismiss, and the second guy comes out to swing and trade you, your teammates also behind, and then they get the kill while they're focused on you that's dismissed. So that's why you want to play in front if you're going to play contact. However, if you're not going to be the first entry though, or if you guys are entering onto site with utility, you want to be second entry. Okay, so let's say you have like a Jet or a Raze or someone else with the movement ability on your team as a second duelist. Then that person is probably going to be the first entry, and you're going to be the one that's going in second as a second entry with your blind. Because while you're still throwing out your blind, your gun's not going to be out. So generally, she's going to be second entry if you are flashing in for a teammate. And based on that information, your entry pathing will also change onto the site. So if let's say the first person that's going onto the site is going to the right side of the site, then you want to go left and vice versa. So that way you guys are able to pinch front site together, mid site together, and back site together. And then lastly, you want to use your flashes for roulette angles, 50-50 angles that are hard to isolate just with isolating gunfights. And then you can also combo her flash for more value, just like how I explained with sky flashes, drones. A really good combo is just combining and timing her flash with a Sova dart. So either the opponent has to turn around to shoot the dart on site, and then by the time they turn back around to look at where the entrance of the site is, they're gonna be blinded, right? So they're gonna have too many things to shoot at, and your teammates will be able to just kill them. Or they shoot your blind, but they're gonna get scanned on site. So again, your teammates will have info about where that person is and get the easy pick. So that's why you really want to combo her utility, because just her flash alone, super easy to break, right? And in high elo, they're just gonna break it instantly and flick back to you. Okay, so on the defender side, her playstyle is very similar to Jet because she's a floater, not an anchor. She doesn't have a lot of hard stopping utility, which means you want to kite like Jet. You always want to read where the enemy will try to go and be there, even as Reyna. And it's very, very important for you to also observe and think about how the opponent has been taking the site and what they could do with their team comp, because that can help you determine a plan of action for how you want to either try anchoring the site, but most likely you're going to be taking an early fight, backing up a little, taking another fight, backing up to a different angle, taking another fight, and just staying alive as long as possible until your teammates rotate over to you. Something that you can do is if you're not on site, right? Let's say you're rotating over, or let's say you were just playing mid on ascent and the enemies are hitting B and you get smoked off. Because Reyna has her dismiss, she can make a lot of dumb peeks or like just take a lot of dumb fights to catch enemies off guard, because you could just get a kill really, really quickly, dismiss out, back into the smoke, and not get traded. That's what makes her so strong. And that's why you want to abuse off angles just like Jets on Reyna. Because with Jet, she has a dash that she can get out after getting one. With Reyna, she's even better at playing off angles, because with Jet, right, you have to activate her dash before you get out, and her dash can only stay up like 50 seconds, right? But Reyna, she could literally just stay and play that off angle for the entire round and not have to worry about it, because as long as you get the kill, you can just dismiss out anytime you want. And that's why you can have a lot of bait and switch setups with Reyna. So you can play a one and done angle. Let's say the attackers are coming in, you kill the first guy, dismiss out, the second guy that's coming out is going to try to kill you, but while they're focused on you that's running away, your second guy can peek from a different angle and then get the kill. So that's how you want to set up bait and switches with Reyna. And so when it comes to pro play, she does have the lowest pick rate, which is interesting because she has the highest pick rate, one of the highest pick rates in ranked. And again, I mentioned the lack of utility on her doesn't make her a popular pick amongst pro teams. But we gotta ask, like, when is she viable and what are some key takeaways from it for solo queue? So let's take a look at this PRX versus DRX game for the grand finals in VCT Pacific. All right, so PRX is on a bonus round, right? Looking at our guns, DRX have a full buy, where PRX, they have a bonus here.
As a key player, that's somebody that needs to be discussed ahead of the series, because he has been so very impactful.
So notice what PRX just did. It's just a Sky and Reyna combo long, because long is a very open space where it's kind of hard to dodge flashes from if you're just caught out in this open, right? So they're just using the flash and comboing it with the Reyna blind to get the space, get early info. And again, in this situation where something is playing, this cubby is almost like a one and done spot, because even if you get one person there, you have like no place to run, but because he has a dismiss, you can just get out after a kill. So notice how he flashes close, so that's something unique about her blind too. Because it stays up for 2 seconds, as long as it doesn't get broken and no one shoots it, you can almost use it like a smoke. Because as long as it stays up, if anyone is aiming in that direction, they're gonna get blinded, so you can use that to cross, and that's exactly what he does here. But let's take a look at other rounds too. They'll just do this over and over again. And here's why it's so strong on a map like Bind too.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. The way that he uses that cascade.
Okay, so right now I guess they have a read for Hookah. Notice they're gonna blind. You see this? Blind, blind. No one's here. And again, we just get a fast rotate. So let's see this again in another round.
No timeout yet.
Sky flash long, Reyna blind. And what's really strong about this is, okay, if we have info that no one's B long at this point, we have this teleporter here. So if they go, if the enemies go shower or short, we can just crunch them through this teleporter. So I think you guys kind of get the point with that. Let's look at what PRX do on the attacking round. So notice how Reyna is actually playing first contact here because they're not really using any utility to scale up. And again, you notice that Sky blind, post Reyna blind. Again, playing contact, so Reyna's front. Oh, look at that. Flash followed up with a Sky flash. And that's how they make space on the side and then win the round. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull up this video here. I analyzed the whole VOD of myself even playing Reyna. And you can just see some examples of where I'm taking calculated risk on Reyna. So this is piss round. Already from the loading screen, I'm thinking about their team comp. I'm anticipating where they're gonna go. And that's exactly where I'm gonna be as Reyna every single round.
Try to get one. Right? Can we smoke this?
So this is an example. I delayed the orb grab, right? And my goal as Reyna is just to take 1v1 fights all the time. I just only want 1v1s.
Right.
So I'm jiggling this angle. I hear them run up. This is like a weird off angle. Just playing close, get a kill. I wait to see if there's more. Dismiss, get in the smoke. I have another orb, right? So I look at the mini map. I see this guy on switch. Frame him, dismiss. That's literally it. Like, they can't even trade you. And now if we just play this properly with our KJ, 5v3, win this retake 100%. So in this game, they were going a lot of like A, B, A, B. And so I was like, okay, since that clearly hasn't been working out well for them, they might go mid. So I'm just ready again for mid. So this is like a prime example of bait and switch. Jett and I were just playing off of each other's contact. Even though I wanted to tuck in, because all we had to do was just let him in and we would have just killed him. But even then, like, she wanted to go for the play, right? So just double blinding there ensures that that guy is 100% blind. And we're gonna get the trade, we're gonna be up in numbers and get a lot of space. And this is something that you also want to think about. Their utility, right? Look how many ults they have. So they're gonna try to execute that onto site. If we don't let them use your ults early on into the round and they save it for the pulse plant, then it's gonna be really, really hard for us to even win the round, right? Even after the bomb goes down. If they have all their ults available for the post plant, it's gonna be impossible for us to even retake the site. And this is like a 100% lost round. So again, this is a bait and switch setup here, where I'm playing the off angle as Reyna and just holding the common angle. So just by process of elimination, I already pushed out. That's why Jett's already leaving. Like, we don't even hear anyone. And Omen's already calling out A. So we just get a fast rotate over to A, and I think we just shut them down here. So again, I'm still thinking about like what the opponents can do based on their utility available, right? So I'm seeing KJL, I'm seeing Omenal, even Razor, so they can still fast execute a site if they want to. So even though they don't go B, at least we're prepared for it. We double flank, and this is an example where Jett updrafted, throws off this guy's crosshair placement, I peek off of him.
One left, one right.
The blind. And we win the retake. So this is like probably the best example of kiting on Reyna. So Omen, this is like a very typical play for like a B execute. You blind B main like this, let Jett or Raze like dash up, take the space really early on to see if anyone's playing close. So I understand that's an option on the enemy team. So quickly, I run away.
I can't shoot that. I don't know what that.
Get scanned. Kill.
I'm gonna stay alive here. They might be stairs.
Two lane, one more. Lane, wait.
And then I dismiss to reposition.
Lane.
Okay, so let's just break that round a little bit more again.
I can't shoot that.
See, this Jett was not ready. She should have been ready and just run away. That's not a good position to play with, even with like a judge. So I just run because Jett died. I have nothing to stall them. So I'm just gonna try to stay alive as long as possible with my heals and with my dismiss. Gonna go backside. And again, like at this point, Jett could have like already dashed up towards stairs, right? Or anyone. So at this point, I'm just staying alive while my teammates all come and pinch this whole part of the map.
Just gonna stay alive here. They might be stairs.
So again, this is for info, right? Because they just shot my blind. So I know that, okay, there's a few more stairs.
Two lane, two, one more.
Lane with.
And then I don't want to stay back here, right? Because my teammates are still coming back to me. So I'm just going to reposition behind this box because I already killed 2 stairs. So I know the remaining have to be like lane. So let's reposition, use this box. And because someone knows that I was just behind this box, and I'm going to peek, crush peek. And then I got my A stolen. Yeah, that's the idea of playing Reyna. So yeah, this is just the beginning. If you do want personalized coaching, if you want more lessons like this that are more in depth about all the fundamentals in the game, where we go over every single role, where we go over every single map in the game, so just even understanding key areas of the map, identifying our win conditions based on our team comp, the enemy team comp. If you want to learn how to do all that, we have that inside of our Immortal roadmap program. We opened up 50 spots for season 15. We just opened enrollment. So if you are interested in learning more to see if you'd be a good fit for our program, please message me the word Reyna so that I know you're interested, and so we could talk more details about it. The one-on-one coaching, we'll go through all your settings, your fundamentals. We have 10-man custom scrims with all the students inside our program. We'll coach you through Premier mode as well once that gets fully launched. Drills, dry runs, you get lifetime access to all these lessons and community as well. Okay, and these are just some results of our students from previous seasons. But yeah, thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.